It sounds absurd, but this is a hidden way women feel most valued. Forget the romantic ideals you've absorbed from culture, family, or past heartache. Centuries ago, a profound observer of power uncovered truths about captivating women in royal circles. What he noted was so volatile, he dared not speak it plainly. Today, I'll decode 9 exact methods for engaging women that build undeniable appeal, without begging, chasing, or losing yourself. While other men fight for scraps of notice, you'll become the source of attention they seek. And the final method changes everything, but only if you've learned the prior 8. Watch closely. This may reshape your entire view of connection. Project an energy of plentiful choice. A frequent error men make is behaving as if their focus is a rare commodity, treating one woman as a singular chance. This outlook quietly strangles attraction, often without your awareness. The solution is to move through life as a man with options. This isn't about deceit or game playing, but a fundamental shift in self-perception. Real assurance springs from feeling whole alone, without requiring her endorsement or anyone else's. Once you believe that, your actions naturally broadcast strength and poise. Women seldom assess a man purely by his statements. They are profoundly sensitive to his conduct, especially under low-grade stress. Do you seem at ease or strained, self-possessed or clingy? Men who appear desperate or always free seem fragile, while men who move with calm plenty suggest capability. Her intuition constantly evaluates, often below conscious thought. Silent questions form. If he's so focused on me, why isn't he pursued by others? If no one else values him, what do I see? These responses are automatic, similar to how we judge an object's worth. Something always available feels inexpensive, but when demand is high, its perceived worth soars. So, how do you convey this abundance without seeming aloof or rude? First, guard your calendar. Don't drop vital commitments for someone new. If you have workouts, career tasks, or friend time, honor them. Kindly suggest other times. I'm booked that day, but I'm free Wednesday night. This shows your life has weight and intent. Second, handle messaging organically. You need not answer every text instantly. Not as a trick, but because you're truly occupied. When you reply, be attentive and genuine, but never apologize for having a life. Constant sorries whisper insecurity, not confidence. Third, meter emotional sharing. Dumping your whole history too fast can flood and pressure rather than bond. Mystery stokes interest. Trust should deepen step by step. Finally, know that plenty isn't pride. A man with real options doesn't brag or scramble for notice. He puts effort into himself, his evolution, and his mission. That quiet certainty, rooted in autonomy, is compelling. Appreciate her, don't worship her. There's a fine but vital line between valuing a woman and placing her upon a shrine. Most men miss it. Mixing these up destroys attraction every single time. Valuing her means engaging her as a full human. You hear her, notice details, honor her time, and weigh her thoughts. Idolizing her is lifting her above you, acting as though she's perfect and accepting behavior you'd reject from others. It's the attitude of, I'll excuse anything because I like you. That mindset is perilous. A timeless maxim states, the man who turns sheep becomes prey. In human bonds, nothing is more accurate. Men who deify women remove all friction, and friction is what fuels attraction. Without it, there's no challenge, no mystery, no electricity. Women intuitively feel less pulled toward men who pedestal them, because the dynamic grows flat and foreseeable. Consider a real situation. She's quite late to a meetup without a heads up. A worshipping man might murmur, "It's okay, no problem." A man who values her would state, "My time matters to me. Please give a warning next time you'll be delayed." See the gap? One silently pleads for acceptance. The other states his position while keeping his dignity. Women may not dissect it logically, but their minds register this contrast instantly. Limits and self-regard signal strength, assurance, and solidity, traits that are deeply appealing. Valuing her also means being truthful and holding your ground. A man who never contradicts or always agrees becomes bland and feeble in her view. She desires a partner with spine, someone able to think for himself and take a stand without theatrics. Compliment her beyond her looks. Recognize her insight, grit, or how she navigates difficulties. Saying, "I respect how you handle that," lands far heavier than shallow praise like, "You're beautiful." Authentic acknowledgement proves you see her substance, not just her surface. Respect does not mean enduring disrespect. If she crosses a line, address it evenly. "That doesn't work for me. Let's find a better approach." If she won't adjust, you must rethink how much of your energy she merits. Women respond to steady boundaries, not bottomless pardon. In the end, don't idolize, but always value. Keep your standards firm, defend your limits, and project unshakable confidence. A man who excels here naturally becomes magnetic, the strength of unexpected presence. Many men misread what it means to be unpredictable. They often mistake it for chaotic or inconsistent conduct, thinking that keeping others off balance requires wild or random acts. Actually, there's a huge gap between unpredictability that draws people in and instability that pushes them away. Emotional volatility is damaging. It breeds anxiety, creates distress, and kills attraction. It comes from overreacting, letting feelings control you, or shifting moods without cause. Women instinctively sense this volatility as a subconscious red flag. True unpredictability, however, is captivating. It's subtle, natural, and thrilling, igniting curiosity because people can't fully guess your next step. Our minds are built to detect novelty, change, and surprising moments. When someone is predictable, their routines quickly become familiar, and the brain files them as ordinary. Predictability leads to disinterest, fading attention, and dwindling desire. By introducing natural shifts in your demeanor and vibe, you keep the mind alert, tension present, and attraction alive. Biologically, unpredictability stimulates because the brain releases dopamine in response to the unforeseen. Dopamine drives pleasure, motivation, and focus, making new experiences feel rewarding. If someone is totally predictable, the brain stops releasing this chemical, and their existence becomes background static. When a person carries a subtle, unexpected energy, it sparks curiosity, focus, and involvement, keeping relationships vibrant without overt strain. Being unpredictable doesn't involve deceit, schemes, or performance. It mirrors a life that is dynamic, rich, and authentic. Men who live diverse, purposeful lives naturally display unpredictability. They might be intensely focused and solemn one day, wrapped in work or aims in light, playful or spontaneous the next. This variation feels real because it springs from genuine life involvement, not from trying to awe, control, or puzzle anyone. Authentic unpredictability grows from being fully engaged and centered, not from strategic posing. The core of this trait is equilibrium. It lets interaction stay stimulating without generating fear or doubt. It keeps someone intriguing and engaging while still reliable in key ways. This balance nurtures a sense of freshness, anticipation, and fascination. People are pulled toward it instinctively because it triggers both curiosity and delight in the brain. Ultimately, unpredictability is one of the most persuasive forms of appeal. It signals vitality, independence, and awareness, silently communicating power without explanation. A man who embodies this energy lives fully in his own story, naturally drawing others with the unpredictability of his focus, actions, and presence. Being alive, varied, and aware is magnetic in itself, an understated yet potent form of influence that captivates and holds interest over the long term. Put your life first, not hers. Here's a reality few will voice. The notion that dedicating all your attention, effort, and focus to a woman will make her adore you more is false. Culture, films, and endless advice columns have pushed this idea for ages. In truth, the reverse is accurate. When a man makes a woman the core of his world, he gives up the very traits that naturally spark attraction. Desire is fragile and it flourishes when a man possesses depth, direction, and autonomy. Women are attracted to men who live with purpose, presence, and self-ownership, not to neediness or reliance. The idea that a woman wants to be the center of a man's existence is a myth. Most women do not want the weight of being responsible for another's happiness. What they're instinctively drawn to is a man who already has structure, aims, and forward motion. A man who ties his identity or sense of worth to a woman signals shortage and fragility. This emotional dependence extinguishes desire before it can bloom. When a man's confidence, joy, or self-value is anchored completely in another person, it triggers unconscious alarms. Predictability, emotional neediness, and lack of self-rule reduce tension, the core element in attraction. A woman's mind perceives this as an absence of value. Desire, after all, is rooted in nature. It answers to strength, independence, and self-reliance. Dependency communicates incompleteness, lowering the chemistry and magnetic force that naturally pull people together. Men who chase a mission, a vision, or a personal goal separate from romance become inherently compelling. Purpose fuels concentration. Purpose fuels vitality. Purpose fuels engagement. It conveys skill, strength, and self-regard without uttering a word. A man moving through life with direction radiates an energy that's impossible to overlook. Women notice it, consciously or not, because such energy is uncommon. Most men lack it, so it instantly grabs notice. A meaningful life doesn't require approval or permission from others. When your life is filled with ambition, curiosity, tests, and growth, it naturally broadcasts worth. Conversely, a life revolving around external approval, attention-seeking, or validation appears empty and depleted. Scattered, dependent energy kills attraction. Focused, independent energy ignites it. True attraction isn't about giving someone everything they want. It emerges when you embody wholeness, independence, purpose, and realness. Value is communicated in a way that is both potent and subtle. A man who leads a full and purposeful life projects strength, not arrogance, and invites bond rather than forcing it. Women are naturally pulled toward vitality, movement, and meaning. They want to join a life that is thriving, not carry the burden of another's lack. In the end, having priorities beyond a woman isn't a tactic. It's truth. It reflects self-respect, personal evolution, and a life that stands alone. It shows you are a man whose energy, vision, and purpose create attraction effortlessly, without manipulation or concession. A full, purposeful life doesn't need to pursue attention. It naturally demands it. Anything less, however, blends into the noise. Mastering emotional self-reliance and attraction. One of the most ignored facets of genuine attraction is the capacity to stay composed and whole even if a woman chooses to leave. Many men confuse this idea with pride, apathy, or mind games, but it is none of those. Fundamentally, it's about emotional durability and self-sufficiency. True power comes from inner steadiness, self-support, and the knowledge that your existence isn't dependent on another's presence. Being able to step away without losing your calm doesn't involve making threats, stirring drama, or rigging results. It isn't about ultimatums or trying to compel someone to stay. Instead, it mirrors your internal state. Your sense of peace, confidence, and self-worth exists apart from any romantic link. When a man fears rejection or abandonment, that fear subtly controls his behavior, tone, and energy. Every word, gesture, and look can reveal neediness or uncertainty, often without his knowledge. Women detect this instinctively. Fear and desperation are repulsive, while strength and stability generate traction. A man who can detach with grace demonstrates boundaries, self-regard, and unwavering confidence. He doesn't seek validation from outside sources, nor does he chain his happiness to another person. This doesn't make him icy or emotionally closed. It means he manages his own feelings and shields his energy. He understands no single person can fulfill every aspect of life. Men who show the self-rule radiate dependability, steadiness, and confidence, qualities that naturally draw focus. Independence is innately magnetic because it signals worth. People are instinctively attracted to those who are complete alone. When a man keeps his emotional balance and thrives regardless of a relationship, he becomes a source of intrigue, stability, and security. Women subconsciously note the difference between dependence and self-rule. The dependent man communicates scarcity, doubt, and need, while the self-sustaining man communicates plenty, strength, and assurance. This contrast taps into deep psychological patterns and drives attraction on a level words can't touch. Being emotionally unattached to results doesn't mean shutting down feelings. It means building the ability to care deeply and commit fully, without losing your own identity in the process. It lets interactions and relationships flow naturally without pressure, manipulation, or despair. Keeping your integrity and personal path becomes a priority, not try and control another's actions. A man who embodies calm independence exudes a security that can't be rattled. He stays grounded, focused, and unafraid of change. His energy is constant despite shifting circumstances, and this consistency becomes magnetic. Women sense it subconsciously, recognizing competence, resilience, and completeness. The ability to walk away without breaking isn't a trick or scheme. It is the outcome of self-command. It reflects a man who is whole, confident, and living by his own principles. In essence, attraction isn't about chasing, clinging, or trying to manipulate. It springs from constructing a life and identity that remains robust, complete, and unshakable no matter who arrives or departs. A man who embodies this energy earns respect, stirs desire, and naturally pulls people into his orbit. Not from need, but because his life is rich, engaging, and fully his own. Learn the craft of giving energy selectively. One of the strongest ways to sustain attraction and sway in relationships is by managing how you allocate your energy and attention. The manner you connect with others through warmth, presence, and care sends a silent signal about your value and priorities. However, not everyone merits the same degree of emotional investment. Offering equal attention to everyone lessens its importance, making your energy seem common, predictable, and easily assumed. Giving energy with discretion is about balance, not manipulation. It is a display of self-respect and personal limits, signaling that your time, attention, and affection are finite and precious. When you direct warmth toward people who lift you, honor your boundaries, and add positive value to your life, it amplifies connection and deepens attraction. Energy given thoughtfully becomes rare and prized, naturally building appreciation and mutual engagement. On the other hand, dispersing warmth without filter to those who disrespect you, create needless drama, or undermine your stability has the opposite effect. It lowers your perceived worth and can encourage behaviors that drain your vitality. When emotional investment is given carelessly, it becomes predictable, ordinary, and psychologically less compelling. People are wired to notice patterns of energy distribution, often reacting unconsciously to the subtle cues of attention and involvement. Your selective approach communicates confidence, self-knowledge, and inner fortitude. It's vital to grasp that this principle isn't about punishing or excluding others. It's about preserving your integrity and showing that care and attention are earned, not handed out freely. Energy spent without judgment often goes unseen or wasted, whereas energy given deliberately creates respect, attraction, and genuine bond. Plus, selective energy reinforces boundaries effortlessly. It signals what is acceptable and what isn't without confrontation or harsh language, naturally sifting relationships. Those who value your energy move toward you, while those who don't are gently set apart. This method aligns with emotional intelligence, fostering interactions that are more balanced, meaningful, and psychologically sound. Ultimately, the practice of giving energy wisely reflects stability and self-mastery. It communicates that you are in command of your emotions, your attention, and your life. A person who embodies this principle becomes magnetic without needing to boast or explain themselves. Their presence is felt deeply because their energy is intentional, scarce, and aligned with respect for themselves and others. Mastering the skill fortifies relationships, preserves vitality, and heightens the natural power of your presence, the magnetic force of personal standards. Attraction starts with clarity about what you will and won't allow in your life. Holding personal standards isn't about judging looks or surface traits. It's about knowing which values, behaviors, and qualities truly count. A man who upholds genuine standards demonstrates that his time, energy, and focus aren't to be treated lightly, which in turn naturally shapes how others approach and treat him. Standards are a mirror of self-regard. They set clear limits that define what is permissible in a relationship and what is not. By maintaining these limits, a man communicates strength and confidence without conceit. Those who respect his standards signal alignment and shared values, while those who fall short reveal whether they deserve his investment. A man without standards, by contrast, projects availability and low worth, making it easy for others to take him for granted or use him. Scarcity and significance vanish, and with them, attraction fades. True standards stress character over comfort. They reveal how a person handles life's tests, treats people, and respects boundaries. For instance, does someone act kindly even when it's not convenient? Do they keep promises and honor your priorities? Do they add positive value to your life or create unnecessary strain? These behaviors separate those who boost your energy from those who sap it. Women, consciously or not, pick up on these signals. When a man makes it clear that his attention is earned and that his energy has meaning, it triggers desire naturally. Maintaining standards also boosts confidence. When you refuse to accept anything that clashes with your values, you guard yourself from disrespect, manipulation, and chaos. This isn't about being rigid or unkind. It's about knowing what is healthy, worthwhile, and compatible with your existence. Consistency and clarity in boundaries draw people toward you because they signal certainty and self-assurance. Your attention is a prize, not a free handout. The influence of standards is often subtle yet powerful. They create a natural order value, motivating others to rise to meet it. When someone understands they must earn your focus, their effort becomes sincere, meaningful, and respectful. Attraction increases because effort is recognized and rewarded. In the end, standards aren't tools for control. They are a way of steering your life with integrity and aligning relationships with your core principles. A man who lives them communicates worth effortlessly. His standards are visible in his presence, his choices, and the way he lets others into his world. By upholding clear boundaries and respecting his own value, he becomes magnetic. Confidence, clarity, and integrity shine naturally, drawing the right people close while keeping energy vampires at a distance. The power of patience during disagreement. Many men stumble into the trap of hurrying to fix every dispute the moment it appears. They dread tension, hunger for approval, and feel driven to restore peace instantly. This haste often springs from insecurity and emotional dependence. Men who act from this place tend to see discomfort as a threat and believe it must be eliminated immediately. Sadly, this conduct can backfire, reducing respect and lessening attraction because it conveys neediness and absence of inner power. Assured men take a different path. They recognize that tension is a natural part of relationships and that not every difference demands an instant fix. By allowing space, they create room for both sides to reflect, cool off, and process emotions. Distance grants clarity and perspective, letting feelings settle instead of flaring into needless conflict. Resisting the urge to chase quick resolution communicates patience, self-certainty, and emotional stability. This approach often yields deeper results. When a man keeps his composure and permits space, a woman gets a chance to examine her own actions, recognize limits, and consider his stance. Over time, this builds deeper respect and gratitude. She sees him as steady, trustworthy, and self-controlled, qualities that naturally boost attraction. The relationship energy stays balanced, and the connection strengthens organically without force or schemes. Choosing not to rush resolution doesn't mean being cold or detached. It reflects a commitment to your own emotional equilibrium and a refusal to tie self-worth to temporary approval. A man who displays calm patience becomes magnetic because his presence radiates clarity, confidence, and emotional intelligence without needing to prove a thing. In short, restraint in conflict isn't weakness. It is an expression of authentic strength, the secret to genuine attraction. True attraction isn't only about how you treat a woman. It's about how you treat yourself while treating her with dignity. Women are drawn to men who value their own existence, energy, and standards. Self-respect, personal boundaries, and integrity forge a magnetic presence because they signal strength, stability, and authenticity. A man who honors his own needs, stands by his principles, and keeps his dignity communicates power without speaking. This isn't pride. It's a quiet confidence that says he is complete, grounded, and free from anyone's validation. That energy is scarce and irresistible. Setting standard for yourself, not just for her, drives true respect and want. Compromising your values, tolerating disrespect, or seeking approval weakens attraction. Conversely, caring for yourself, maintaining boundaries, and living by your code naturally pulls admiration and notice. Mastery over your own mind, emotions, and actions creates an authoritative presence. You engage from assurance, not fear or lack, showing freedom, plenty, and realness. Women feel this energy, and it becomes more persuasive than charm alone. Ultimately, attraction grows from self-regard. A man who honors himself while treating others well becomes magnetic, scarce, and fascinating. His life, energy, and presence speak louder than talk, forming a pull that can't be ignored. Final insight: this knowledge is powerful. Use it to build yourself, not just to sway others. Concentrate on constructing the man you truly respect first. Then attraction and respect follow naturally. If it's connected with you, please like this video. It truly helps support this channel. Winds of Thought. Next, we'll uncover the quiet signs a woman is losing respect and exactly how to rebuild it. Remember, he who masters his own mind shapes his reality. Everything else aligns.